So they're entering right now, correct, Chantel?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Alexis, that was my mistake. I apologize. Okay. I think we are all here. Um, my name is Linda Riddell, and my co-presenter is
I'm Carolyn Schofield from New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Welcome to today. Here's how we're going to play today. All right, you can see the screen, Carolyn? Okay. All right. So, oh, well, perhaps I should introduce myself. I am the creator of the Gettin By game. I'm an epidemiologist by training, and I specialize in poverty. And I created this game for people to get a different experience and a new way to understand poverty. Carolyn Schofield, go ahead, give your background, Carolyn. I should have done that.
Thank you. My name is Carolyn Schofield, and I've been a community health worker for almost 6 years now, working out of New Hampshire with individuals dealing with social determinants of health and chronic disease. And I actually played Gettin By at Unity Conference when it was in Las Vegas, and I believe it was 2018. And I just not enjoyed is not, I guess, the best way, but I just found it so pertinent to the work that we do to be able to really like put ourselves in our client or patient's shoes. So I'm just sort of giving that community health worker perspective.
Great. Thank you. So we're going to run through the Gettin By game and rules. We're going to go to a different Zoom room because this one does not allow breakout rooms. So we'll go to that Zoom room. You'll go to breakout rooms and play. You'll be playing in groups of 3 or 4 people. You're going to play for about 15, 20 minutes. And then we will come back to this Zoom room so that the conference can record the presentation. We'll debrief and discuss what your experience was. And then I will talk about the 3 ways. There's more than a million ways, obviously, that poverty changes the brain. We're just going to focus on 3. And then we will sort of connect this to community health worker work. All makes sense so far? Let's see here. All right. When we get to the other Zoom room, I will give you a link. You will be assigned a game room. You'll type in your name and click join as player. This is essentially what you will see. This game board here to the left has some things missing because Snoopy had already made some decisions and spent some assets. So you'll come in and you will have a full board of assets. You have 4 different kinds of assets. Time and energy, which is exactly what it sounds like. You might be presented with a situation where your sister needs a ride to the methadone clinic every day so that she can keep custody of her children. Do you have time to do that? As an example. Home and family, these are things you might ask of your landlord, like to fix your broken window or your front door lock. You could ask your family to help take care of your child who is ill so that you can go to work, those kinds of things. Money and debt. This game is not about money. Um, the money and debt assets are for surprises. You're already on a razor's edge budget, but so you might have a bed bug infestation that you need to deal with, or a power outage and you lose a week's groceries, and you have different options of how to cope with that. Work and job, you'll spend a work asset if you needed to call out because you're of your sick child, or you could gain a work and job asset by doing some training for a promotion on your own time. Now, the game, when it's your turn, you will see draw card. And you'll know it's your turn. Your name will be a different color. I think it must have been her turn. This was Courtney's turn. You'll see draw card. Click draw card. That will present you with a situation. There are 3 different kinds of cards. I'm going to stop this for a minute. A green card, you get to make a decision. It gives you a situation and you decide. You'll click on the option that you want. There's a little checkbox. It will not let you click the option if you don't have the assets. So if you are out of time and energy assets, you can't do something that requires a time and energy asset. It won't let you. Then, oh, okay, interpretation is working, good. There are chance cards, which is just shit happens. And it just tells you what has happened, and it will automatically take or give you the asset that it's called for. Then there are everyone cards. So it's like you live in the same neighborhood with the people you're playing with. So if the neighborhood's getting gentrified, that affects all of you. You all get to make your own decision. It's just that everyone's turn basically is happening at one time for that card. And then it continues to the next person. Important, you don't have to agree with the other people in your group about what to do in that everyone's situation. There's some that call for coin flip. You can decide, say you lost your electric bill and you're going to go around to the different churches and different charities and see if someone can help you with your electric bill. And it's a coin flip as to whether you find help or not. So you click the checkbox on coin flip and it'll tell you what you got and adjust your assets. Now, on your first turn, you have all the time that you need. On your second turn, a timer starts. And I need to forewarn people, the timer ticks, okay? It makes noise, just so that doesn't catch you off guard. If you run out of time to make your decision, the card will go away, and it'll go into your open situations. And you'll see a little, it's not really a frowny face, but it's not smiling, next to your name at the top. At your next turn, when you click draw a card, that open situation comes back. You can continue to keep it open if you still can't, have the asset to deal with it, or you can keep it open and go to your next situation. It sounds complicated. It's not. You'll only see draw card when it's your turn, and you can only make a choice that you have the asset for. Okay? The game will do the rest in terms of if you run out of time or if you don't have the asset or any of that. Let me read a sample card. Hold on. All right. Tomorrow you have an interview for a new job. Your only nice looking shirt just got stained. You buy a new shirt at Goodwill, so you make a good impression. That takes a money and debt asset. Or get as much of the stain out as you can and hope it works and is dry in time for your appointment. Takes time and energy. Oh, the flowers and the images. So those are tokens. And when you spend a benefit, that token will disappear and you'll see an empty slot there. Um, so if you make a choice that takes the time and energy asset, one of those buttons goes away and it's empty. All right. I'm going to put up the link to the other Zoom room that we need to get to so that we can get to breakout rooms. So it's in the chat. It is Zoom room 642-126-2547. And there will be a waiting room. I'll let you in and you'll go out to breakout rooms and game rooms. I will see you there.
I'll hang tight here, Linda, just in case for a minute. Okay, so if you're still in this room, over in your chat, you should see a Zoom link that Linda had dropped in there. Click on that link and head over to another room to play the game. I see there's still about 20 of you left in here.
And so the game is like roughly 15 minutes, you said, 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, yep, depending on the time that we're looking at, and I think we're doing pretty good on time.
Okay, thank you.
It will automatically open the other one. So you'll leave this one, head to the other one, and then you'll move it back. Agree, this is about poverty and how it changes your brain. If you click to get to the other Zoom room, in the chat, there's a message from Linda with another Zoom link. Click on the Zoom link and it will take you, you will leave this meeting and head to the next. Well, we're glad you're here, Agree. Do you see the other Zoom link in the chat? I'll repost, I'll re-put it up there. It's getting buried in the comments. Nope, that should help. So I'm gonna head over there. Looks like we're hanging tight. can you continue with the other instructions if other people have questions?
Sure,
Okay,
will do.
thank
Thank you.
you.
Okay, they should be coming back. Oh, let's see. Chantel, could you please allow video?
It should already be available.
Yeah, it says your host stopped it. Let's see. Huh. Ah, there I am. Yes, it is. Oh, shoot, not to host and panelists. Yes. Okay. Huh. Susanna Carmen says there's no audio.
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Audio is back. Okay, good. Okay, how many, do we have everyone back? How can I tell? Let's see.
We had roughly 67 people.
We've got 51 back. Okay, there'll be some fallout. All right, Carolyn was sending them over. All right, well, we've got 50. So, tell me what happened. Raise your hand and I will unmute you. I would like to hear people. All right, too. Yay. Angela, go ahead.
I wrote in the chat, I did not like the game. It is stressful. Also, these are real life situations that we help solve daily. So it was hard for me to be like in game mode because, I just go to that professional mode or passionate about what I need to do for my clients.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's great.
Mhm.
Let's see. Tasha?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
So I understood the stress, and then I said, I think you might have taken some of my real life scenarios in this game because it really touched, it really hit home. So while
Yeah.
it was a little bit stressful, like I knew that it was a game, so I could walk away from it, and I ran
Right.
out of money really, really quickly based off of
Mm-hmm.
decisions that I
You
made.
did that.
It was interesting.
Great. Angela.
I spoke already from
Oh,
the health
sorry.
department.
I got you
Yeah,
mixed up.
that's
Amanda?
okay.
I ran out of energy first, which I was not expecting that. So that was a little bit of a shocker. But it does give that real life, experience to it when we have all these clients that are like, oh, I can't send the phone, or oh, I can't do that. And for me, it's hard because it's like, oh, it's just a 30-minute call. Like, why can't you hold on for 30 minutes? But it now gives that context that once you literally have no energy doing a task that might seem so small to somebody else, can nearly be impossible for somebody else.
Yeah. Great. Where's Amanda? If I missed anyone? Tyria?
It's Tiara.
Sorry.
I felt like it moved very, very fast and you run out of everything very quickly. And much like life, I really didn't understand it until it was almost,
Yeah.
towards the end. Then I understood what was going on and why I was losing things and why I couldn't pick the ones that I wanted to pick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Annie?
Hi, yes. I agree. This game was really stressful. But I do believe that all CHWs are hustlers.
Mm.
And so we look at the broad picture, try to find solutions at all times. But this game made me realize like my life is not going to be the same as others. So my choices, depending, for example, like the lead example where you can move with your
Oh,
family,
yeah.
but what about if you didn't have family in the area? Then you would, make a different choice, which is like an eye opener as well, that we don't,
Yeah.
all walk the same paths. So,
Yeah.
yes, very stressful game.
Yeah, I see in the comments, I panicked, had some trouble understanding the situation, the pressure to make quick decisions really puts us in the shoes of those we assist. This is terrific. Yes, thank you. And I've had people say, wow, this game is just awful. And I go, yeah. It's sort of meant to be. So thank you. And that gives you just sort of a taste of how that goes. Um, so I'm going to do this. I'm not sure what it's sharing. That's interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. It's showing something I didn't have in mind. So poverty changes the brain. So even in that short period of time, your brain started to work a little bit differently. So let me share this now that I have it set up correctly. Here we go. So handicaps fluid intelligence. So if you think of, well, imagine that you played for 40-ish minutes, okay? If someone had given you an intelligence test right afterward, how well do you think you would have performed? You give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways. How well do you think you might have performed? So maybe intuitively you know that you wouldn't have performed that great. And you're right. This is a study of shoppers at the mall. So they were shopping at the mall, but they randomly assigned low and high income people to two different scenarios. One was they were told that they had to have a car repair, and the car repair was less than $100. And the second group was told they had to have a car repair, and it was $2,000. And the people who were low income, they performed worse on a quick fluid intelligence test than the low income people who had the cheap car repair. So even that small thing of having a hypothetical introduced affected the person's performance. Sugarcane farmers get paid once a year, and the researchers tested their fluid intelligence right before the harvest when most of them had to pawn something in order to have food, and then after the harvest. So they went from being poor to relatively wealthy, right? And they had gained 9 IQ points. So it wasn't that they went from being dumb to being smarter. They went from having less access to their mental resource to having more access to it. Does this make sense? Now, if you think about the help, help that you want to offer, help that helping professionals want to offer, it generally comes down to information sent, information received, information acted upon. Okay? So an overwhelmed brain doesn't receive information the same way. So if you were trying to help a sugarcane farmer before the harvest, you as community health workers know that that takes different strategies than it will take after the harvest. You know that intuitively, right? So now imagine someone interrupts you during the game and says, wow, I can give you a lot more resources, to make your decisions with. All you have to do is learn a foreign language. And no, your life doesn't slow down. The game doesn't slow down while you're learning that foreign language. And the foreign language is print culture. I'm not talking about literacy. That's not, I mean, that can be an issue. I'm just talking about framework, expectations, and language. So in print culture, so a person who has a master's degree will take a brochure from their doctor's office that tells them, here's the screening test that you need to have at your age. And that person can accept that as a trusted source of information and can act upon that. When they on their way out of the doctor's office, they can say to the front desk, where's the information about contacting so I can get these tests. All of those things are common sense. I have a colleague who wants to outlaw that phrase, common sense. I'm starting to agree with him. So I'll give an example. Depending on what state you are in, your state may have continued the universal free school lunch after the pandemic or not. Some states continued it and some states didn't. The states that continued it, the recent study showed that children in those states had less food insecurity than the states where the universal free lunch wasn't continued. So that program, I looked it up, that free and discounted school lunch has been a federal program since my mother, who's 84, was in kindergarten. So the program didn't change, the access to it changed. That print culture obstacle of filing the application went away in the universal school lunch. So yes, school lunch is available for free in all 50 states. It just has more obstacles in the way in certain states. So if you ever do have a chance to go to one of Donna Beagle's Poverty Institutes, I highly recommend it. This is from her work. And I feel like you all know this from your work, the importance of storytelling and relationship building. That's within that context, person can gain print culture type skills. Without that context, lots of programs offer help and the help doesn't get received. Does this make sense? I'm gonna watch the time here.
Linda, there's a couple
yeah.
of questions that have come up that says, can they have access to the game? Or a link to the game?
Yes, I will talk about that at the end.
Great, thank you.
Is that okay? Okay. All right. Next thing, it changes what comes to mind. So while you were playing, probably didn't cross your mind. I have these kids, what about their college fund? Or when am I going to take up yoga? Those things, the immediate was taking all of your focus. I'm going to just this slide is, these are all of the social determinants of health factors that the World Health Organization catalogs. I have this little pet peeve to share with you that whenever I see the term social determinants of health, it's always about people in poverty. But everyone, rich and poor, multi-billionaire, has social determinants of health. It's just a matter of how favorable they are, how much control they have, what's their range of influence over their circumstances, over their work schedule, over their day, over their housing. So this is also what the World Health Organization says about social determinants of health. Individuals are unlikely to be able to directly control many of the determinants of health. Part of the game design, and I think several of you picked up on this, was you didn't have any power over the situations that were presented to you or the options that were on offer. Some people have asked, why aren't there more options? You don't have time. You don't have time for more options. So power is really central to a person's health status. Having a sense of mastery and control over your circumstance, over your major components of your life, improves your health status, talking at the population level, even if your health habits don't change. That sounds very counterintuitive, that somebody can improve their hypertension by having better control over their work schedule, having a more predictable work schedule, for example. And that same person with that unpredictable work schedule could eat more carrots or, have institute a better diet, and it wouldn't necessarily improve their heart health because all of those life circumstances are heavier, so to speak, on their hypertension risk than their diet. Bit counterintuitive, but there's a lot of population health research that traces it back. The famous Whitehall studies by Sir Michael Marmot, he traces all of the social economic, status, calls it the gradient of health. So as you go up in social economic status, your health status improves, your risk of dying goes down. He traces it back to the brain. That this is about the person's mastery and control over their life. And I'll be happy to share those studies with you if you're interested. These are different types of poverty and different attitudes that the person may have about power. So you may have worked with immigrants, and they have they essentially have more hope. They've already come through a lot. If they are a new citizen, a new American, newly arrived, and they have hope that's powering them. And that's my final segment, is about long-term. Poverty, scarcity impairs executive control. So I'm going to guess that several of you made decisions in the game that you wouldn't normally do. So I've had nutrition people do the fast food drive-through because that's what they could do. I've had physicians hang up the phone on their physician, that kind of thing. That's not a decision you would make with a long-term perspective, but a long-term perspective is scarce when your present is so demanding. So the thing that an overwhelmed person loses, of the many things they lose, to me, hope is the most tragic. And it makes sense that you don't have a perspective or an idea or positive thought about the future because the present is so overwhelming. Now, there is, and I'm going to use Donna Beagle as an example. There is an idea, especially among helping professionals, highly trained helping professionals or any helping professionals, that they know what the goal is. They know what that future looks like. For example, Donna Beagle dropped out of high school when she was 16 or 17 to have a baby. And her high school guidance counselor said to her, if you drop out of high school, you will never get a good job. That was not on Donna's wish list, a good job. That wasn't relevant to her. She says to this day, if that high school guidance counselor had said to me, stay in high school to be a better mother, I might have stayed. So I like to caution people in helping professions. And I'll use smoking as another example. Have someone who's a heavy smoker, you think, obviously they need to quit smoking. That might not be the most important thing about their health, considering other opportunities you might have to help them around mastery and influence, painting their own future, setting their own course, which will help their health. All right, I am now going to turn it over to Carolyn.
Thank you, Linda. So I'm just going to talk for 5, maybe 10 minutes, not even. But I think you have all sort of realized how this game, Gettin By, sort of works with your life and experience. And so with life experience and CHWs, a lot of our work is working with individuals that we sort of see ourselves in. So I'm curious. So life experience is individual encounters or events that someone has gone through in their life that shapes their beliefs, their values, and their understanding of the world. So I'm curious to learn if while you were playing this game, and let's use the raise hand button down at the very bottom of the screen. And so you'll have to raise your hand, but then you'll have to click it again to unraise it. But showing a raise of hand, did you get a card or a situation during the Gettin By game that you yourself have lived through?
Oh, wow, we got a lot. Estelle, Kayla, Allison, Simir. Wow.
Yeah. And so let's lower our hands here for a minute, clicking the same button. And now I'd like to learn from you all if some of the experiences that some of the situations that you experienced in the Gettin By game, if those are experiences that you have helped your clients with.
Yeah. Kayla, Simir, Claire, Thierry.
All right, perfect. And we can
Yes, a lot.
Yeah, we can lower our
Betty, Mindy. Yeah, great.
So
Oh, sorry. I advanced the slide. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
that's okay. We can. So part of the power of, the strength of CHWs is using our real life experiences, things that we have been through, whether we've experienced homelessness, whether we had no idea where our next meal was going to come from, how we were put into this, incredibly difficult decision-making process of how am I going to get to work, take care of my sick child, and get my husband to his doctor's appointment when we only have one vehicle. So all of our own life experiences have value in our work, and I think that that's so important to keep in mind. And you can advance, Linda.
Okay.
But how our real life experience can oftentimes outweigh any of those, whether you have a degree or whether you speak English as a first language or whether you're, multilingual. I think our life experiences can translate so well to our clients, and that is sort of our power. That is our superhero cape. And it's quite often that CHWs, when they're relating to their clients in their situations, we have this unique ability to walk in their shoes or walk along them because we are them. And I think just keeping, understanding and keeping that power within your heart can help to sort of fuel your work when it's becoming difficult. Because anybody that works in that helping field can really struggle on the days where you just can't find that right resource to help the right client in the right way. And so holding on to the fact that your life experiences are your fuel and your Superman cape. I just wanted to kind of bring that out to everybody's attention. And maybe, we are the proof that our clients need, that there is a way out of this poverty. We've done it. We've walked in their shoes, and and now it's our turn to sort of walk along with them. And so that's really all I wanted to say. I'm a huge component of this game, and the ability of it to put individuals who maybe haven't had those experiences, that life experience, to be able to really understand a moment in time of what somebody living in poverty might just be feeling when they say they can't just take on one more thing. They can't afford one more medication. They can't afford one more doctor's trip. Those sorts of things. I think this is a great way to do it as a game form, which is not really a game because I think games are fun, but as you all saw, the stress that it causes is exactly why this game is so important and why it's great to kind of share that and be CHWs, because we're really great at understanding our clients in that way, but not all professions are. And so I think this is just a valuable tool to use with some folks.
Yeah, what I love about CHWs is that ability to bridge the client to the help that they need. That's the most important thing. And like Carolyn was saying, lots of helping professions don't take the time or have the time in the structure of how they work with clients to do that storytelling and relationship building and bridging. All right. This next one, you're going to have to take a look at this, see what just looks like a blurry mess so far. How about now? Raise your hand if you see something. Oh, yep, you all got it, I think. Once you see the, I think it's a Dalmatian dog, you can't not see it, right? And that's what I try to bring to people is a different view of something that they might think they already know a lot about, poverty, and show it to them in a different way. So you can see it in a different way. So, just as a recap here, if there's one thing that you take away from today, I hope it is poverty changes the brain, and that changes everything. The 3 ways that poverty changes the brain and changes the way a person can receive help. Bandwidth, it's about making sure the help you're offering can be received. Power, creating opportunities for the person to have some mastery and influence in their circumstances. And hope, to me, the most important. It's encouraging all people to look and create their own future. And then as Carolyn has offered, valuing that life experience that you can bring to the clients. And we have 4 minutes to spare. Here is contact information. People who are interested in having access to the game, just drop me an email. I'll explain how that works. And we're open for questions. How can I? Oh, let me see. Participants. Here we go. If you'd like to ask a question, just raise your hand, and I will allow you to talk. Betty. Let's see. ODH. Questions? I'm just looking at people who's Carolyn. Let's see. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you have a terrific rest of the conference. Thanks for coming. Great.
Thank you, Carolyn and Linda. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You.